Hi, my name is Joe Potts, and today I'm going to be talking to you about performance appraisals and how to prepare and present them, and also the importance of communication throughout the entire process. I'm going to be breaking this down into 4 different steps. Step number 1 is how to prepare for the performance appraisal. Step number 2 is delivering the actual performance appraisal itself. Step 3 is how to listen and be ready for questions, and also ask questions yourself. And step number 4 is going to be how to prepare for difficult questions from your employee and/or any conflict that might arise during this. So first, let's look at preparation. Preparation is where you're going to spend the most amount of time in the entire performance appraisal process. You're going to be writing a lot of information over the past year of the employee's performance. So make sure to set enough time aside to give adequate amount of time for this. Some people like to block off time in their schedule, whether it's at their desk or move to another conference room is very helpful. Also, sometimes what can be really good is removing yourself completely from the work environment. The work environment has a lot of distractions, whether it's your smartphone, computer, email, meetings, people coming up and asking general questions can really distract from the process of writing a performance appraisal. So sometimes removing yourself from the actual work environment allows you to concentrate more. Though some companies won't let you, some will, if it's what you need to be able to perform your job correctly. Also, be ready to write many drafts of a performance appraisal. This is not a one and done deal. It's something that you need to take your time on and write and rewrite and rewrite. A lot of times you're going to have to rewrite when you bring this to upper management, which is another very good thing to do. Most companies will have you do 2 levels of management above to review and see what you wrote about the employee and see if they're on the same page with that. They might rebuttal a little bit or give you outside opinions that will help you to rewrite the draft. Also, HR is very good at making sure that you're legally on a good standpoint for what you're writing and that it aligns with the business values and that you're also being firm, fair, and consistent across all of your employees, or if there's multiple managers in a certain department, they can make sure there's consistency there as well. Also remember that this is over 1 full year of performance. This isn't anything that is a month or 2 months, so you need to take into effect 1 full entire year of performance. This is really where the most of your time is going to be taken, is looking through notes, looking through any documentation you have to ensure that you're giving this employee a fair performance appraisal. If this is something you rush through, your employees are going to be able to see that very quickly because they feel that they're not being valued in what they do. So you want to make sure to take your time. If you don't, employees will lose trust in you as a manager, which will affect the relationship you have with them and ultimately the engagement that you have with your entire team. Make sure to take your time in the preparation for these performance appraisals. Secondly, we're going to go to delivery of the performance appraisal itself. It must be sincere and to the point. A lot of managers like to take time to really interact with their employees, which is a great thing to do. But during performance appraisals, it does need to be to the point and concise. You don't want to have much time for external chit-chat because this employee is going to really value this time that you're taking with them to go over their performance. So make sure you're being respectful of their time and going over what they want to hear. Also, while you're doing this, be very mindful of your paralanguage or your tone, your pitch, how you're presenting this information, especially if it might be sensitive information. They're going to notice those adjustments in pitch, volume, or tone and really pick up on that, and it can make them feel very uneasy. So make sure you're being appropriate for what you're saying. Also make sure you're being very aware of any other forms of nonverbal communication. Body language is key during the delivery of a performance appraisal. Make sure that you're upright, you're engaged in the conversation, and that they feel that you are as well. Leaning back in your chair will make them feel that they are not valued, that you do not want to be there, and it makes them feel very uneasy. So make sure your body language shows that you want to be there. Listen to the employee when they speak. It's a very easy thing to say and something that many people think that is very simple to do. But body language plays a huge key in this. Are you making eye contact? Are you listening to them? Are you forward leaning? Are you leaning backwards? Whatever this might be, that's going to affect how they perceive you're listening to them. Most importantly, is setting clear expectations for the next year. So you've already written their performance, you know where they are, they know where they stand, but you want to make sure to take this time to tell them what you expect over the next year. Not only you, but your upper management and your HR. So this is a great opportunity to set the standard over the next year. And if they didn't get a promotion this time around, let them know why. And this kind of goes into the next point, that nothing should be a surprise during a performance appraisal. An employee should go in there knowing exactly where they stand and what's going to happen. So if they don't get the promotion, they should know ahead of time as to why. But this can be a great opportunity to remind them and, again, set the expectations over the next year of what they need to do to get there. Third, listen. If the employee has a question to clarify a point that you made, listen to them. Listen, listen, listen. Listening is a very important skill that we've learned here in this class, and it ranks in the top skills to have in companies as we've read from our text. So make sure you listen and really truly listen to them. Ask questions to follow up and get the clarification on what they want from you. Employees value this time to talk about their performance, where they stand, and where they're going to be going next year and what the game plan is going to be. So make sure you show them that by giving them being considerate enough to listen to them. Also, when you let an employee express their concerns and really hear their opinions, they feel so much more valued. Employees love to make their opinions known, but more importantly, they like to know that it's going to be, there's action going to be taken out of that, and their manager truly cares. Also, be aware, again, of nonverbal forms of communication while you're listening to your employee to make sure that you're being engaged in the conversation and not distant somewhere else thinking about your next meeting. Finally, is how to prepare for difficult questions and or conflict that might arise during the performance appraisal. No matter how much you communicate ahead of time, conflict will still arise because employees sometimes can be blinded to their poor performance. John C. Maxwell said it very, very well in his book. He says, "We judge others based on their actions and ourselves based on our intentions." So an employee can rationalize why what they did, even though it fell short of expectations, was still justified in their eyes. So when you're calling them out on something that they've done, it can be a very tender subject. Now, as I stated before, nothing should be a surprise in a performance appraisal. Though, talking about a sensitive subject that might have been clarified over 6 months ago can strike a tender chord and really bring feelings up and emotions up of anger or frustration from the employee. So make sure you prepare for those. Make sure you prepare for those difficult questions or defend your points that you made. But also, most importantly, listen. Continue to listen to them, even if they get angry or they're upset. Make sure you show them that you understand and you want to hear what their points are. Interject only if the concern is off topic, and make sure that you continue to listen. Be mindful about your nonverbal forms of communication, and make sure you're not being angry or frustrated. Also, make sure to utilize this time to set expectations for the next year and where they fell short this year and what they need to do. A lot of times what can be really helpful is to prepare ahead of time with that employee. If you know that there's going to be a difficult part of the performance appraisal, you can talk with them ahead of time, a couple days, if their HR business partner is okay with it, to let them know there's going to be a difficult part of this performance appraisal, or if they're not going to get a promotion, let them know ahead of time. So again, they should be very, very clear on where they stand going into it, but sometimes as a manager, you know there's going to be certain employees that are still going to be upset. So if you can prepare ahead of time with them, it helps during the actual performance appraisal itself. In conclusion, this has been my presentation on performance appraisals and how to present them. The biggest takeaways is how to prepare, how to deliver, how to listen, ask questions, and also be ready for those difficult conversations that you might have or conflicts that might arise and how to handle them. I appreciate your time very much, and you have a great day. Thank you.